Peter and John have had this heat pump installed for about a year now.
That's correct.
We thought that it would keep up till about minus 12 outside. We hit a lot colder than that a few weeks ago. How did it do around that time?
Well, I would say when we got to the below the minus 20 and then with some of the wind chill,
Yep.
We felt that difference a little bit, just dropping a couple degrees, 1 degree maybe less.
Yes.
Going from a ample 20 degrees to somewhere between 18.5 to 19.
Okay, cool.
But it held at that point pretty well.
How was the cooling in the summer? I know that you guys didn't have cooling before.
We loved it. We never really had to feel like we had to heavy HVAC AC the place because it was always that really lovely, consistent, cooled environment inside the house, right? But you didn't really notice how much work was being done by the heads, the multi-heads, because they're quiet and you don't hear them, and the house is just cool and you're just sitting comfortably in it. And until you make that comparison of inside-outside temperatures, whether it's summer or winter, you really notice how it's doing its work, and the cooling is fantastic.
As far as heating costs, I know it's hard to get exact numbers unless you go through all the bills, but how did you find that it compared to your old furnace?
When we went from the old windows to our new windows, we already noticed in that December, January, February, we only had one fill of the tank, which normally we would have had a fill each month. We reduced three fills to one.
Nice.
And I would say, even though our electricity bill has gone up a little bit because we were mostly heating through propane, I would say we are saving between 40 and 50% on our old costs.
That's good to hear.
And also for us to get onto the goal of using hydropower as opposed to a lot of the petrochemical-based heating, and there's no cooling.
Yeah, that's a huge bonus for sure. And that's great about being in BC, having BC Hydro. And you were able to get the rebates, which probably helped out a bit as well, the provincial rebates you guys had access to. So
there's options in how you navigated that, depending on whether you're a homeowner or a renter. And so that really helped us implement this. Yeah. And so we were really happy to be able to explore that.
And you got back everything that you were expecting as far as...
We certainly did, yeah. Everything that they had promised. And once we got our number and our approvals, it actually all came true.
How was your experience working with Luxury Climate, working with us?
Oh, we're 110% satisfied. You guys have always come with options, the truth, and you meet your deadline. You make a promise and it's met. And I was nothing but impressed with everything you guys were able to do for us.
I'm glad to hear that for sure. Do you have anything that you'd like to tell people about heat pumps?
We heard a little bit of the negative of our house is cold. It's not warm enough. But I think where we had the confidence with you was that you came and did the testing and you understood our space and you understood the needs. And I think there's a lot of people who are just whapping up a heat pump saying this is going to change your life. Well, yes, it will change your life. You're getting a heat pump. You're getting off of fossil fuels, if that's what your goal is. That initial step of going through that day of the design day and you coming and spending time here and understanding how the house breathed and what was going on for the needs, it got us what we think is the best system.
Good. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Peter.